Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am in a situation. I am in a reading slump. It is the most horrible reading slump. I have been in it since I think like November or something. I don't know. It's been rough these past few months. I can only get like 2 to 3 books done a month and I'm just like reading a short 190 page book for 2 weeks. Unheard of for me. Like that is so long to read such a short book and I just don't know what's happening and I need to get out of it. So this video is going to be kind of like a get out of a reading slump with me slash what can I read in a week kind of video, like a nice little spoiler free reading vlog for y'all. Let's say the options that I have going. So I'm thinking of doing A Winter's Promise because this is a enemies to lovers like fantasy, romantasy, and I do think this is very well loved. My only issue is that it's like quite thick, and if I'm trying to get out of a slump, for me the best feeling is when you finish the book, and I don't know if it might take me a while, it might not help the slumpiness, but if this is quite fast paced, it could be even better because then it's like I feel way more accomplished when I read like 100 pages a day rather than when I read only 20. I feel like really bad about myself when I read 20, which I shouldn't. I should not feel bad about myself, but it's just, it's my mental, it's crazy. Usually for me, romantasies are very fast paced and I can get through them very quickly, so I feel like maybe that could help. My other options that I'm thinking of is Dungeons and Drama, but I feel like I want to maybe wait a little closer to Valentine's Day because this is just giving Valentine's vibes. So I'm thinking about waiting for that one. And I don't know. I don't think I want to pick any classic or anything because I feel like that would just be too much for my brain right now. The other one I could pick up is Lore of the Wilds. This one also I think is a romantasy, but there's 2 potential love interests, I think. What is that? What? It's not a 3-way. I keep wanting to say a 3-way. That is so not what it is. It says the perfect cottagecore book about books with a love triangle. That's what it's called, a love triangle that will keep you guessing. Okay. I don't know which one to pick. There's also a third one. It is Unbound. That I'm picking between these 3 books. I don't think I'm gonna do Unbound. I've been wanting to read this for so long, and then now all of a sudden, I don't know why. The thing I'm hoping the most is that with whichever book I pick, it gets me so in the mood to want to read that I read like 6 to 7 books this month, because I haven't done that in so long and I miss doing that. Let me read the backs of these, then I'll tell you. Ooh, this one says grips you at every page. Ooh, kinda need that. Okay. Now, I feel like the biggest test is how easy is it to hold while reading. A little stiff. Because the last book I read was so stiff and I think that's what made it hard to read. Oh, this one's not stiff at all. Look at this. It's flopping. Even for being like such a thick book. The bedroom. That was the chapter. The dragon! There's a dragon? Also, I just like that the character's name is Ophelia because I just know in my head I'm gonna go, oh, Ophelia, like all the time. I'm like really leaning towards this one. Maybe, okay, I'll pick this one for now. I'll give it about 100 pages, maybe less. If I don't immediately get into it, I'll switch it out for Lore of the Wilds. But for right now, I'm gravitating towards this one. 100 pages in this book, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm not sure how I feel. I love the world. Like, the world building is really cool and very unique. It's not something I've ever seen before, but I'm not sure how I like the characters so far. Not much has happened either. I mean, this is a very thick book, so everything's kind of gonna be very slow, you know? Slow moving plot, slow burn romance. It's gonna be very slow, and I'm here for it. I'm fine with slow, but not much has happened, so I can't really say whether I like the characters so far or not. I mean, the male main character is an ass, but like, that's kind of the point. Like, that's his personality. That's the point. The main girl slightly does have a bit of a Wattpad-y kind of I'm not like other girls. Granted, she's not the one doing it, and also it's a bit of a different aesthetic. Like, same vibe, different aesthetic, but it's not too bad, and it's kind of over now because she's away from her family at this point, so that talk is over. I'm just really hoping that they don't try to change her aesthetic, that she doesn't like grow up and like all of a sudden doesn't want to wear her old lady clothes. She wants to look like all the other and fit in, and I'm really hoping they don't get rid of her glasses in the attempt to do like a whole she was actually beautiful this whole time kind of reveal with the glasses. I want her to keep her aesthetic. I like that aesthetic. I love an old lady aesthetic. That's the type of clothes I wear, and so I kind of like seeing her be that way, and I just don't want her to change for a man. But so far I do like the writing style. I love the world building. I think it's really unique and cool, and I am very interested. I read these 100 pages within like 2 days, which is good for me recently. I've only been reading like 20 pages a day, so that's pretty good for me right now. I'm definitely very interested and ready to keep going, so that's good. I'm hoping this will bring me out of my slump. Oh, another thing that I really appreciate about this book is how the main male character isn't like the same big buff guy that every other romantasy or romance even is. I feel like recently we've gone down this rabbit hole where every male like romance main character has to be really strong, big and buff and huge, and can pick her up whenever he needs to and tells her off. You know, I'm sick of it. Granted, this guy is still tall. Like, she says he's like fucking ginormous, but he's lanky. He's skinny. She always talks about how skinny his arms are and is like, he's so like tall and lanky and kind of weird looking, and I love it. I love a lanky man. I love a sickly lanky man. I just needed that. It also, like, A Far Wilder Magic also did this. Like, the main male character was actually shorter than the female character. I need short kings. I need lanky kings. I need them in my romance. Stop giving me these fucking big buff six-pack ab dudes. I don't care anymore. Everyone's done it. Give me different men, please. And thank you. And that's what I do appreciate, that the male main character is different in this. Very appreciated. Thank you, Miss Christelle. Thank you, Miss Christelle. That is a beautiful name. Christelle. I quite like that. Thank you, Miss Christelle. I'm gonna keep reading, and let's hope that this gets rid of my reading slump. I keep doing all the clips from the same angle in the same place, and I just feel like it's not very fun to watch, but I have to do what I have to do. I am a little more than halfway. Very much enjoying it. I am like so intrigued by what is happening. Like, I can't put it down almost. Definitely helping me with my slump. But could I explain to you the plot of this book? Not one fucking bit. I seriously do not know where this book is going to go. I don't know the plot. I don't understand anything about it, but I'm enjoying my time. It is very, very slow paced. If you are wanting like a fast, action-packy, like fantasy romance, this is not it. Not it. Like, the main male character is like rarely seen, and they barely talk to each other, so especially if you want a lot of romance, no, no, no. If you want a slow-paced character development, political intrigue kind of book, there you go. And honestly, I'm loving it. I do love like a character based book rather than a plot heavy. This is very much like character driven and not plot driven at all. And I quite love it for that. It is very interesting. It's keeping me interested even though I have no idea what the plot is. So that must mean something. That must mean that this is pretty good. I will say Miss Girl Ophelia is still giving somewhat like Wattpad-y vibes every once in a while, with like her being all like, I'm so tiny comparative to them, you know? But also it's like this whole realm that she moved to, they're all really tall and stuff, so it's not just like she's so tiny comparative to the main male character. She's tiny comparative to all of them, and I think everyone from her hometown is considered like much smaller than everyone from the place she lives now. I don't know why it's like that. I really don't know how to explain what this book is about. Like I've said, plot, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if I've actually explained what this book is about. There's Ophelia. She lives on, like, there's these, like, this is called like an arc, I think. So they all live on arcs because the old world kind of like died, and so like from the old world came these arcs, these like, I'm gonna gather floating pieces of land, and there's like, there's a shit ton of them. There's like 20 big ones, I think, and then like 200 something like kind of smaller arcs. Between all the arcs, like the top 20 ones, there's like main families. I am very confused on the family dynamics because they all call each other cousin or aunt and stuff. And it's kind of sketching me out because she's like, I asked to not marry 2 cousins. Good. Don't marry your 2 cousins. But then within these like arcs, they all come from certain gods. So she's descended from one god, and then her love interest is descended from another god. But the 2 gods call each other brother and sister. So wouldn't that make the love interests related? I don't know. I don't know if it's just they're calling brother and sister because they're both gods, so that's like their most closely related kin. I don't understand much of the dynamic of the families or of the people, so I'm trying not to think about that. You know, I'm trying not to think about how they could potentially be related. They're 2 totally different people, you know. But on these arcs, they're all different, and she goes from her arc all the way to the other side of this world, to her love interest's arc called the Polar. And yeah, she basically is like in an arranged marriage with him for political reasons that are unknown to her, and that's basically where the story goes from. You kind of just follow her dealing with all the political intrigue of the Polar and stuff. But it's also cute because she goes with her aunt, so her aunt tries to protect her, and you have a sweet dynamic between them 2. But she's pretty much alone within this because they're kind of like hiding her. She's not sure why. She has no idea what's happening, which I quite like because I have no idea what's happening, so it really gets me into it. Basically, yeah, that's like the plot that I know of. I don't know where it's gonna go from here. It's definitely helping me out of my slump. I do feel like though I am dragging a little towards the end because I'm like, it's kind of long and I'm getting like, oh, I just want to finish it, but I do want to know what happens. So it's like not like a DNF vibe of I just want to finish it. It's like I really want to know what's happening. Can I just get to the end to know vibe. I don't know what's gonna go on for it. There's like, I think like 4 or 5 books. Like what the fuck's gonna happen? I don't know. I'm very intrigued. All right, let's keep going. my dog for a walk, but I thought before I go, I should end this video and inform y'all how my reading slump is going and how this book went. Alright, this book, I'm gonna give it a solid 4 stars, maybe like a 4.5 if I start to think about it more, but for right now it is a solid 4. I thoroughly enjoyed my time reading this. I loved what was going on. The plot twist at the end, they were twisting. Everyone who I thought I trusted, out the window, and everyone who I thought was suspicious became my babies. This was just so good. The world was so well thought of, so well explained, and so unique. And my girl Ophelia, I love her. Towards the end, she started getting her voice and speaking out against these bitches in that court, and I was like, my queen, thank you. And I loved Ophelia. I just really loved how a lot of the characters were quite different than what you usually have in romantices and whatnot. She was very timid in the beginning, but not in she was weak. She was just kind of more to herself and kept to herself, and I quite like that. A lot of times nowadays the main female character is very strong-headed, stubborn, always fighting, and I love that. I do love a strong female lead, but I do think sometimes it's nice to switch it up, switch it up sometimes, especially because I am very shy and timid. I feel like I relate more to Ophelia than I would to Jude, I just don't relate to Jude because she's just too cool for me, honestly. So it was really nice to see a different type of character. Same with Thorne, the main male character. He was tall and lanky. He was lanky, and he still had the morally gray kind of personality, but he didn't do the whole flirtatious thing that I feel like a lot of romantices do. He was just quiet too. He kept a lot of things to himself. He was very straightforward, I feel like, and I thought it was very unique and different to what's out there nowadays. Don't get me wrong, I do love what's out there nowadays. I love a strong female. I do like the sly, slick, morally gray male character, but I also just love switching it up sometimes, and this was a good book to switch it up. I thoroughly enjoyed my time. I definitely think that this helped get me out of my reading slump, because yesterday, I'm not even kidding you, I could not put this book down. I could not stop reading, and so I'm so thankful for it. Thank you. I'm so sorry it took me 7 years to read you. I should have done it sooner, really, truly. Thank you. I do find that it was very fun going into it not knowing. I was getting twists and turns every 5 seconds. I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. So I do recommend going into this blind. All right, 4 stars, love it, thank you. This video was all about getting out of my slump, and I think that I did. I'm very proud of myself. I can't wait to go into my next book. That will be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I hope to see you again. Bye bye.